Good morning. It is. Why is what like I know what I'm gonna say every morning to start, and I'm always like doing the math.
Good morning, and wait a minute, I know this.
Yeah, because for a
You know
second I thought,
why? It's a script.
yeah, and I should know, but yeah, yes, coach just got coached. Um,
It's
what had happened was, I was about to say Wednesday, but then I looked down because I always go into the morning news. Thank you,
yep.
Zoe Kirkpatrick. She's a genius. She puts in the news now for us what 90 days out is. And as I was about to say Wednesday, I looked down and saw Tuesday, and I started to question myself, which I do every time I look in the mirror. I'm like, why do I take this thing out in public? But here I am again on camera showing the universe. So it is Wednesday, May 25th, and we are 90 days out from Tuesday, August 23rd. So many barbecues to discuss. Mark Lesniak and Jason
Today.
Westcott and the crew at the Business Center in Meredith are hosting from 2 to 6 today. If you like the burgers and the dogs and the people and the drinks and the snacks and the outdoors, from 2 to 6 today, it's the summer kickoff barbecue at the Meredith office, 159 to 601. It's like an open house. Somebody's going to show up at 6:15 and be like, oh, it's over? Like, yes, we're giving you 4 hours. And as a fellow realtor, don't we love an excuse to stop working and go eat hot dogs and hamburgers?
Yep.
Yes. So,
With Jay Westcott.
yeah.
Keto approved.
And the yes, no buns, no buns. 4 hour window gives you time to obviously carve this in and stop by at some point. So I think it's an awesome opportunity to obviously get your summer started. Now you might ask, well, why isn't this Friday? Well, because Jason and Mark are wicked smart, and they know that on Friday, people that is Friday of a holiday weekend is the weekend. Thursday, tomorrow is the pre-kend. And today's maybe the last time that a lot of people are going to be darkening our doorways at our offices and for business, because the number one travel day before any holiday weekend is Thursday.
Yep.
So they said, let's make it Wednesday.
It's not going to be great around here at the lake.
Yeah. So 2 o'clock today, it is the summer kickoff barbecue at the Meredith office, 2 to 6 p.m. So please make time to swing by if your schedule is free. And the weather is phenomenal, so it should be a good time had by all. And I do believe we do have some of our friends who are supporting us in this effort. I just don't know off the top of my head. I trust it's about Bradley Kelly's involved.
I do believe he is. I do believe Bradley
yeah.
Kelly and a few other folks. And,
Yeah.
and there's going to be a few KW people up and around here, but I'm not going to say who. So come and see who else is going to be here.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like there might be a special guest, and I'd love to tell you what vehicle he'll be in, but I'm just not sure. Although I think this week he's in his Uncle Jesse truck, and Jason knows what I mean.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, there might be some guest stars there. You never know. That is today, the summer kickoff barbecue. Go hang out with the crew in Meredith and have a burger and a dog. And if there's, will there be cocktails on site? Are we cocktail free? Is it? I mean,
I would like. Here's what I do know.
I want to say it's a dry campus, but it's so close to the lake.
The refrigerator downstairs has like 7 cans of soda in it, about 47 cans of other types of spirits.
I'm hydrated right on cue. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know what the It always seems to be.
You'll have to. This is like the healthcare bill. You'll have to sign it to find out what's in it. So you have to show up to see what's going down. Come up to see what's going down.
Correct.
We are heading into the training room in Portsmouth at 9 o'clock. You can head to timsoffice.com at 9 o'clock, and you can hang with us for Win with Sellers. We did Win with Buyers yesterday, Win with Sellers today. And then we're going to do a deeper dive, just so you guys know. Next Thursday, I know I'm jumping all over the place. It's what we do. Next Thursday is, and I'll tip my cap to Pedro Mesh. Peter Metch came up with this one. It's Red Month. So we're going into Bridge Day 2. So Red Day 2.0 is next Thursday, June 2nd, Portsmouth campus. We're going to go out into Narnia. We're going to finish the bridge. And for that reason, we're going to use that back here at the Portsmouth office and also online. Zoe's going to do a deeper dive into the buyer packet and the seller packet that's already in command for you. And we will touch on that today, but she's going to do a deeper dive next Thursday. So it's Win with Sellers today for Ignite, and that is at 9 o'clock, timsoffice.com, or 9 o'clock in Portsmouth here in the Portsmouth office. Then today at 10 o'clock, Maine Contracts, Keller TV. 11 o'clock, New Hampshire Contracts, Keller TV. Jason's here. We'll talk about what's doing there. 1 o'clock, the Leverage Series, day 1. So 1 p.m. on KW Connect is the Leverage Series. It's a whole series that is part of KW University, and it's going to be an opportunity for you to explore ways in which you can leverage your business. Well, I'm only one person, Tim. There's still things you can do to leverage yourself so you can get back into your genius zone and do the things you should be doing that are money-making activities. And then, of course, as we mentioned earlier, 2 o'clock, 6 o'clock, Meredith office, the summer kickoff barbecue. Go up and hang out with the crew and enjoy 4 hours of camaraderie with your people in the sunshine and the snacks and the foods and the cocktails and the sodas and the waters too, I'm sure. And maybe some sporks and napkins. You won't know unless you go. Speaking of barbecues, very excited to finally say it out loud. I've had this conversation with a whole bunch of people in the moment here and there. Way back when, to make everyone's life easier, I got meetwithcoach.com because it was just going to be easier to say that. Then go to my Calendly, and then it's / and / and Tim and all this stuff. So if you go to meetwithcoach.com, you end up at my calendar. Jeff's like, great idea. He got meetwithteamleader.com. And you can book on his calendar there. And then we're joking. When he told me that, I'm like, oh, my God, I'm going to get Meet with Nate. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, no, MEAT, Meet with Nate. So if you go to Meet with Nate, and I mean meet, not
like the steak,
not see in person, like the steak, MEAT, meetwithnate.com. It has forever, until yesterday afternoon when Camille updated me, it is forever pointed to Fogo de Chao because Nate loves Fogo de Chao. So if you book a table at Fogo de Chao and tell Nate that you have a date with him at meetwithnate.com, he'll meet you anywhere in the country and have a steak with you, or Brazilian barbecue, as it were. We've moved Meet with Nate, MEAT, Meet with Nate. This is telling me, Jason, that I should just go get the other Meet with Nate. That way, if somebody screws it up, it just goes to the same place. I'll do that later this afternoon. Because why not? GoDaddy has 44 of my accounts already. So Meet with Nate, MEAT, is going to take you to a page where we discuss our other barbecue, July 19th, Gunstock. We are going to be hanging out with everybody. We want to get everybody back together. And that is at Gunstock, and that is coming up on July 19th. When you go to Meet with Nate, you'll see that you can register. There's more information. I do believe we are running now 3 to 7 in the afternoon for that event. Barbecue, hang out with the crew, Gunstock Mountain, July 19th. It's the KWCLM barbecue, July 19th. Meetwithnate.com. Super simple. Rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it? And just for a heads up, too, because the schedule changed last week, we were in Meredith for the All Partners meeting. So I flipped the schedule a little bit. I will be in North Conway tomorrow. I do believe JV will be on campus tomorrow. I'll be in North Conway tomorrow, and we'll see everyone in the North Conway office for a building mastermind that is at 12 o'clock tomorrow. So contracts, Jason.
Yeah.
What are you guys wrestling with as of late? What is the soup du jour for contracts?
We're still having issues in both states with deeds. Whether we are not getting the deed or we're not getting the correct deed. Or we're not even putting a deed on a contract, which is an issue. The legal side of it, we've been talking with Hyde and obviously a few other people.
Sorry to interrupt, but when they're filling out their purchase and sale and it gets to book and page, we're just skipping that.
It's either left blank, right? New construction, we see that a lot, which is not the correct way. We see a lot of people doing blank and the reasons. So when the compliance team kicks it back, what we get from the agents is, I was never given that from the other agent. Or when I read the deed, it didn't seem right. So, and I can appreciate that. Yep. Like I get that. And the problem with it is that once we go under agreement and something goes wrong, i.e. the wrong property gets purchased, the wrong property tries to be purchased, whatever it may be, the attorneys look at us and say, who filled out this form? And then let's just say it's another brokerage. They say, oh, I did. So we go, great. And then they said, who allowed their seller to sign this form? And then we have to go, and that's not great. Again, we always try to pitch to you guys that when you get into into a courtroom, a mediation, a grievance hearing, whatever it may be, the commission, you don't get to sit there and say, I didn't know, right? What you do is you get to answer questions, and attorneys are very good at yes or no. And when they want you to say no, they get you to say no. And when they want you to say yes, they get you to say yes. And then all of it just makes us look bad, whether we received it or didn't receive it, or didn't give it or didn't get it, or we handed over the wrong one or received the wrong one. No matter how it is, we look bad, right? And the consumer is always protected in anything that we're doing. And that's why the only thing that we can have is a purchase and sale agreement to hold us out, right? It's risk mitigation, realistically, at this point. Because what we need to understand is that, property disclosures weren't filled out correctly. I can appreciate that, but you allowed your buyer to sign them. You know what I mean? Or the other way, the seller told me X, Y, and Z. Great. And like in Maine, you're responsible as the agent. New Hampshire, you're not, but you are responsible that it gets filled out. And then you're responsible in New Hampshire if, a home inspection happens and they find some stuff that now you have to redisclose. You have to redo them.
Yep.
And so it's one of those things where I get where we're at. I get the speed, because I feel as though, and I hate being this agent, right? I hated this when I heard 20 years ago when I got in the business. I hated that when I was a newer agent. But the speed of the way
gray
transactions
temples bring out your eyes. Go ahead.
Yes. The speed of which transactions are happening right now is like nothing we've ever seen. It is just going so fast. Listing, offers, under agreement, home inspection, all within 3 to 5 days. The problem with it is time kills deals and speed kills deals, right? Because speed, typically I's don't get dotted, T's don't get crossed, So and that's where we're having some problems with that, because when title companies get stuff, everything like that bogs down. We're not the only ones that this is happening to. Title companies are getting offers and they're like, holy crap, there's no booking page on this. Like they don't, you know what I mean? Because if you're doing a deal with and I'm going to use Paul Langdon, right? He's a builder. You pull Paul Langdon LLC on the deeds, you're going to see 300 deeds. The guy builds 60 homes a year. Which property is Paul Langdon selling today? You know what I mean? Without a deed, no one knows. So it just slows the deals down, right? And then that once you have to go in front of a client, buyer, seller, and you have to say, I didn't do this right. Can you re-sign? This isn't correct. I didn't. However you want to word it. After a while, they're going to catch on to you. And they're going to start thinking, maybe it's not me, it's you, right? You always pitch, we want to look good and be right. Well, me as the buyer, my deal's going bad because lending's not happening because I'm not getting the paperwork in. Yep. That's not the problem. The problem is you didn't put the deed on. That we're dealing with that today, right?
Right.
So, we have to be better. And that's the key, right? In order for us to win this war as realtors, just against iBuyers and internet and all the other platforms that are trying to interfere in our space, we have to be doing it better. So that's today. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about that, and we're definitely going to be talking about property disclosures and home inspection discussions. That's coming back up on the plate. Indeed.
There's a comment in the chat which I appreciate, and they're referring back to when the comment from the agent filling out the purchase and sale said, "Well, the deed wasn't available." Well, and the chat comment is, "We can get the deeds ourselves." That's no excuse, and title will send the deed. Like they'll support that too. So yeah, I appreciate, like, it's when I got started, Nate's like, if you're going to be okay in this current market, because we were coming out of the shite, right? You're going to be okay in any market. And for the guys and girls that came in during COVID, I think you were met with a market that none of us expected because, truth be told, Gary said to us way back in March of 2020, we don't know what's coming, but we got to get to work. And it turned out to be that our industry supported most of the country. When you think about all the things, when we sell a home, as soon as that person leaves the closing room and they're going out to buy new switch plates, they're going out to buy, the economy, we touch everything when you think about what housing does for our economy. So we were blessed to be really the throttle behind that. Now we're in this weird spot where people are questioning everything, and thoughts going out to Texas. Horrible what happened yesterday in Texas, So I mean, there's so much going on, and I think the misconception is we want to help our clients, and every client wants to do what they want to get done. The seller wants to net the most, the buyer wants the greatest deal, and they both want it done yesterday.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that you guys feel that way. But to Jason's point, to Jennifer's point, our wonderful people that we have at our market center that are on the commission, they see it all the time. And is it the Army? I think the Army or the military saying that slow is steady and steady is fast, right?
Yep.
Like just, I laugh because I still have my sophomore year high school typing. It was 1932. It was made of wood, right? And I'm hunting and packing. And then I'll go and I'll stand in Susanna's doorway, Camille's doorway, Zoe's doorway, Kaylee's doorway. And it's like rapid fire, right?
Right.
And at the same time, I'll also joke too, because sometimes I'll be in there and Kaylee's like rapid fire away, and then she's making a correction. But more often, she's at about 98.9 percentile that she's just smoking through whatever she's typing, right? And she's done that. And anybody who does type really well has done that because they've just done it over and over and over again. For us to get into a habit now, if you're just getting into the industry, if you're in your freshman or sophomore year, coming through COVID and in the market where we are in now, if you start to form bad habits about, I've always left it blank, that's going to fall on deaf ears when you do get to the commission, to Jason's point. And it's not the best way to start relationships with other brokers. 80-20 rule. You're gonna play in the sandbox more often than not with 20% of the agents on the Seacoast. You're gonna keep running into the same people because they keep doing a lot of business because they're working just as hard as you. And if you want to, justify the fact that when you're the buyer's agent and you can't believe that when it got to the closing table because we went through all this crap because we rushed through our paperwork, and they, based on your initial conversation, couldn't support your 3%, and then you found out mathematically when you see the closing paperwork, they could have, they just didn't. Did you give them a reason to? Because we've had agents that had that initial phone call, can you support my 3? And they're like, well, no. Okay. And then later, they get the phone call before it closes. You were phenomenal. I want to let you know I'm able to meet that, or I'm able to get you to 275, or whatever the case may be, because you knocked their doors off, because you were awesome. So you're building skill sets and taking time to do things right for your client and for yourself, because it would be horrible to be getting a $10,250 GCI check and have some of that be a fine.
Right.
Or some of that is a payback to your client because something went awry and they had to stay in a hotel while stuff was getting corrected, or like whatever, and it seems like a little tiny thing. It's no big deal. It's book and page. I was confused. Okay. Raise your hand. You joined a market center with a ton of talent and with 2 phenomenal brokers. Raise your hand. Check in with your title company, as it says in the chat. They'll help. That's why they're here, and they want to earn your business.
We do say the title companies will help us, and they will. The other thing I want to say is that when you get that documentation, read it. Right? I've seen tax cards that are wrong. Like,
Charlene
Tim
Mason,
Lindsay.
read the deed, read the deed.
Yeah. I mean, I've had people send me the deed. This is what I got. This doesn't seem right. And I'll quickly map out the meets and bounds. And I'm like, this is not 20 acres. This is like 300. You know what I mean? And it winds up being the wrong
bargain.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? But that's where it comes into being a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Measurements. I mean, even insofar, most recently we had issues with just room sizes, right?
Yeah.
And we got to go back to the tax card on that, right? You're going back to the municipality on that for the most part, and they might be off, but we want to always double check it against that, because if the agent's like, no, I walked the room, and I joked about this last week at the All Partners meeting while you were talking about this. Well, no, Jason, it felt like a 14 by 10 when I was in it. Like, how do you know? I was eyeballing it. Like, when did you turn into a contractor? Answer for Tim Lindsay: never, right?
It doesn't feel like a 14 by 10 when all the furniture's out. You're going to go spend $400,000 for it. You walk in there and go, this feels small.
Yeah, this room feels really small. You're fat, Tim. Oh, that's right. Forgot. It's a really big Recambier, and I have too many cookies on me. Yeah, that's why the room feels small. Oh, boy. All right, well, we appreciate everybody hanging out with us this morning. We are heading into Ignite at 9 o'clock. You've got Maine contracts at 10, New Hampshire contracts at 11. If you're looking for help with your marketing, you can certainly go to KWCLMmarketing.com, 2 M's in the middle, KWCLMmarketing.com. That's the full suite of services with Alana Babineau. And you can book her face at Time with Babs, B-A-B-S, timewithbabs.com. If you need help because you're on the struggle bus with your paperwork. And if I were still in production, and I'm going to have Jason raise his hand too, that would be me. I might, and speak, we having all this litigious speech, I might grab the guy who used to be the judge and is now a lawyer. Let me finish my my analogy here. So Jason Houle used to be our compliance director, and he still oversees that fund. But now he's moved to a virtual transaction coordinator for you guys, should you choose to hire his services. So the guy that used to have the gavel on the bench and that was ruling, I trust he knows what he's doing. So now if you could hire him to defend your greatness, to get you to the closing table faster, to smooth that out and take all that functionary off your table so you can go do the fiduciary and go sign babies and shake hands and get more deals, you might want to do that. So that website is Fulcrum TS, Fulcrum, FULCRUMTS, fulcrumts.com. His email is tc@fulcrumts.com. His name is Jason Houle, and I do believe currently if you have him closing a side for you, paperwork for one side of the transaction is $325. That, anywhere on planet America, is a frickin' deal.
Yeah, it is.
Because who loves their paperwork? I'll wait. Nobody's raising their hand. No. Like there's one person. I love the paperwork. Cool. We're not friends. I'm just kidding. We're definitely friends. I just don't. Nope. Never want to do any of that.
He is brilliant.
He's a rock star.
Yep.
And if you feel like, that went so well, I want to do something nice for Jason. He is the Dairy King. He loves the Dairy Queen. So if you're in a Hannah Foods, if you are anywhere near a Dairy Queen, he would love gift cards. He would love gift cards. And he'll yell at Jason and I for doing this to him because he's always so worried about his weight. I think he's 160 soaking wet if he's lucky. Yeah. He's about 10 feet taller than me, so figure out that math. But yeah, he is the Dairy King, so he loves Dairy Queen. If you want to do something very nice for Jason Houle, if you've loved his services, or you just want to thank him for being around, because he handles a lot of stuff for us. If you're looking for Jennifer Vachon, his front desk phone is 603-234-2589. It used to be easier. Like if I had like a name, I used to call Jason Houle way back in the day. We had our MCA was Kate, and I used to call Jason Houle at the time because he was compliance director, the Kate keeper. You had to get through Jason to get to Kate, right? Yes. So you have to get through Jason again, but now this is to get to JV. So yeah, you got to fight through the minors to get to JV, then to make it to varsity. So 603-234-2589 to get a hold of Jason. I trust you guys also know. I'm going to say it real quick. I don't say it often. I'm going to say it real quick. 603-682-3218. I will never say that again. She'll kill me. But that was her number. If you caught it, you have to rewind. You'll have to rewind. Our brokers are available to you at all times. Raise your hand, ask a question. Don't leave book and page blank. It's new construction. It didn't matter. It always matters.
It always matters. There's no deed for this property.
There are blanks there for a reason. Because
I play that all the time. There's no deed for this property. Do you want a bet of coffee on that? I haven't lost one yet.
Yep. Awesome. Yes, exactly. And in closing, we've got our marketing, we've got our broker information, we've got our transactional services information. If you need my face, it's meetwithcoach.com. Questions, comments, concerns at 603-834-2856. And we'll see you in and around the Market Center. Jason, have a great day. I'll see you on contracts a little bit later.